Hello, and welcome to Brine by Blood Machine. Link in the description for the itch.io page where you can download and play this game for free, but you should support the creator while you're there. And while you're supporting people, you should check out the GoFundMe link to help an Afro-Latina trans woman out, because you love to support people. You love to support people, and we love to fish. So Brine was a game made for the Fishing Horror Jam of 2020 that I have taken interest in despite not knowing a damn thing about fishing. I just thought it'd be fun and neat. We play as this person who has decided to bring someone their parts. Now we have to fish, I'm guessing for the parts. We can move the camera. Luckily my cute frog mouse cursor isn't on screen. The controls only mention walking, interacting with things, and using the left mouse button to do fishing stuff. So I'm guessing once our fisher person takes the pose, we can probably reel in a fish, maybe some parts. Unsure. We might want to look around the environment a little to see if we can learn anything rather than just, sitting here and fishing. Seems like caught a very fine fish. Yeah, that one looks good. It's got like some kind of an arrowhead thing going on. Can I walk off the side of the world? We cannot walk off the side of the world. We can't just get down in there and wrestle the fishies by hand. We got to do it by rod. So is the way of fishing. They tend to prefer the rod as opposed to just hopping in there and getting at them. That is difficult, as I learned my time as a child reading the Hatchet book. Okay, I'm supposing that this is probably our boat. Our fisher person does not like to go down ramps. This was a game jam game, as I mentioned. I don't know how long the Fishing Horror Jam lasted. I think it might have been a month. I remember seeing it and being like real excited to see what would come from it. Okay, here we go. I was like, I want to get a different camera angle. The camera's a little bit interesting here in its movement. I'm not sure if it's better optimized for a controller. Not to say it's bad. It's just different than what I am used to. Let's just fish. I was gonna explore the environment a little bit, but while we're here, might as well just cast off, see what we can get. There we go. We can bring it down. This is probably the best angle for me to see when our arms shift up. And it seems like once you get a bite on the rod, you just click as quickly as you can to reel it in, as opposed to there being like a little mini game or something. It seems to just be you overpower a little bastard in the water and get them out. Yeah, it seems like holding it doesn't do anything. So yeah, it's just another very fine fish. This one, I would say, has more of a humanoid face than the last one. Other one had a bit of more like an arrowhead, like a Barracuda, the Pokemon. That's probably a real fish. It's Barracuda. It's probably based off on maybe a little bit of pike in there, since it's like an arrowy kind of deal. Oh my god, I can't remember what Barracuda evolves into, and or if it is the evolution or not. That's not important. This isn't about Pokemon. Pokemon has some fishing elements in it, but the Pokemon actually does have some like baby horror in it, because we all love babies and we all love horror, so you might as well put it together. I'm guessing that where you fish in the environment does some stuff. Like maybe if you fish in a specific location, you can find fish or not. That may just be Animal Crossing brain at work. Also, there's a whole environment here. So one would assume that, where you fish matters to some degree. It's hard to say. I did want to walk to the top of this big cliff and cast off here. Maybe a couple times, because, it took a while to get up here. Maybe the very fine fish is a common drop. I'm not sure of the structure of this game. If it's like, you just catch some fish in a certain area. If we have to find things, we do have the ability to interact with something. I was going to say the environment, but who knows what we can exactly interact with. I assume that if anything's going to be interactable, it'll be this. I must bring the parts. Okay, so this is the end goal. Bring the parts here for whatever we're bringing parts for. I think it just said I must find his parts. I think that's what it said specifically. Okay, so we know our end goal is to find parts, bring them back here. So we just gotta find the parts. I'm gonna guess it's like an Exodia situation where there's like 5, like we need head and the arms and the legs. Maybe there'll be a torso thrown in there just for fun. Who knows? Yeah, so the fishing is pretty simple. And that we just click a whole bunch of times. There we go. We got a part of him. We got the head. Boom, baby. That's Exodia. That's Exodia to me. That's different than Exodia. I'm sorry for calling our god Exodia. I think Exodia is a god in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, he's not one of the Egyptian god cards, but Exodia is a big old boy, so one could assume. Yeah, so we could probably, like, there'll be at least, the limbs. Maybe the torso will be separate. Maybe the torso will be 2 whole parts. And I wonder if, I probably should just cast off this mountain again. If it is like, oh, you need to go to a specific place in the location to have a chance of catching one of him. If you're fishing in just like a generic spot, maybe you just get a very fine fish. I'm not sure if there's like a gotcha element to it where it's like, oh, this has this rarity, etc., etc. Like, oh, here we go. We got a cursed fish. It looks just shadowy. I'm not sure if the cursed fish is a shadow, or if we have. Do we have a way of checking our like inventory? I don't think we do. I don't remember seeing that in the instructions. Unfortunately, not a jump in this game. The jump, it's a fishing game, so jumping probably not terribly important. But anytime I'm in a 3D space, you want to jump. You want to run. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to do our plague doctor fishing. I mean, we don't got the big old beak, but the big old beak. From what I the thing took a while to land, and I took the taking like the I'm just gonna stand here and wait pose for the fish on. It's time to go pose. From what I understand about what I remember about plague doctors, which, you think I would have learned a bit more about plague doctors in the year that we're in. Oh, regular fish. Where plague doctors just came back and are really cool for no good reason, and no one really knows why. I think I would have learned a bit more about them. But from what I remember, the beak was just to put like flowers and good smelling shit in them, because like back then it was like a belief that like the good smell could keep the bad out, because medical history is a crazy thing. But it's been a minute since I learned that. I also have not been keeping up with One Sod Bone, the podcast that taught me stuff about medical stuff and made me go, oh boy, learning medicine is insane, and the process of doing it modern day, and also just the process historically of doing it. Got a fun little cliff here. Got like a big old like spike just sticking out. It's be a fun place to hang out if it weren't like so like, oh, if I mess up on this cool little spike cliff, I'm gonna fall off and die. But hey, I was gonna say in a landlocked state. I'm actually not. We got the good old Gulf of Mexico and my state of Texas. Just typically far away from it. Very fine fish. Yep, the good old humanoid face that I love. When I see the humanoid faces, that's when I go, damn, that is a fine fish. Yeah, never really close to the water in my daily life, though, in like this capacity. Also, oh, never mind. I was gonna say, like, I don't think I've ever seen a cliff, but I have seen a cliff. I probably shouldn't. So sometimes you like to play with the camera controls to be like, oh yes, I am nodding. This isn't the kind of camera control where you would want to do that. This actually kind of reminds me of like the Animal Crossing style controller. Like, I know it's not exactly the same, but where it just has like kind of a few settings. Like we can kind of switch between it and stay in that kind of liminal like camera space, but it doesn't really want you to do that. It wants you to pick a thing and go for it. Maybe I should fish like in this little crevice right here, as opposed to like just out here. Like I just saw the cliff and it's like, I'm gonna fish from the end of that. Oh, a part of him. No, I was totally right. There we go. That's a whole leggy. So that's good. Okay, because I feel like we probably don't just like, the answer probably isn't just, okay, well, I'm just going to sit here and just fish in this one spot. I feel like we probably have to go to specific places on this island. I wonder if the island is like shaped like the sacrifice stone that we're assembling the body pieces for, and like maybe like you go to the correct spots of the body to do that. If that's the case, though, then that means we missed a leg, or it means we missed an arm, since we came from head to leg, and we didn't get an arm in between. But I'm also I don't think I'll be able to walk up this. This looks pretty steep. Yeah, no Talon Trot could have gotten us up that. We need to go back, unfortunately. This is probably still too steep. Yeah. yeah, so I'm doubting that the world is just island. The world, who knows what the world of this game is shaped like? That's hard to say. Is that a fire? That looks like that might be a fire in the distance, and I don't really see any interesting landmarks along that coast. So I guess we can go check that out, check out this little structure, because I'm guessing at some point in this game there will be a pond. Oh yeah, I guess I was thinking like I can't like look off in other directions since the character wants to walk towards the camera, but I suppose I could hold other buttons than W to make my character walk. Here we go, a pond. This has got to be one of the big old guy that we're trying to acquire parts for, our very own Exodia, which, like, I'm sorry to the lore of the game, but I haven't learned anything. Oh, it's a majestic fish. Yeah, it looks shiny. I'm gonna cast again. I'm gonna cast from the other side though. Maybe there's a good old piece of our Exode in there. And then I want to go check out what's up with that. Like, I thought it was a fire, but it looks like it just might be some weird trees. And weird trees, probably good to check out. And actually, while I was thinking about the weird trees just as a concept, this is a fishing game. We were told we needed to collect the parts of him. We weren't exactly promised that all the pieces would be in the water and we got to fish them up. We can only assume the whole purpose is, we're fishing up the parts. Maybe it did more explicitly say something about that, but I have the memory of the cursed fish, not even a very fine fish. So unfortunately, that's a bit out of my purview, just remembering a thing I was told. Okay, so yeah, there's just some fucked up trees over here to match our just, kind of normal trees. Trees that I should probably know the name of, but I don't really know tree names. I know oak and cedar because they're in Animal Crossing, and I know sequoia because it's a really big tree, and I knew a guy in high school named Sequoia, so that was fun. And I think that's all the trees. There's you know what? There's also Pokemon. We'll go back to Pokemon to know a thing about trees, since all the professors are named after trees. So I could just rattle off a few of that and be good. I guess there hasn't been a Professor Cedar, huh? They don't want to use the basic trees. They started off with oak, and I guess that they can go anywhere from there. I feel like Gen 2, like the city names might have been tree stuff as well, but maybe I'm just thinking of Cherry Grove and being like, yeah, that's not Cherry Grove. There's cherry trees, so all of them are probably trees too. But that would seem like a jumped gun to be naming your professors after trees, and then also name your cities in an area after trees. That regular fish put up a fight. I'm just gonna cast again. Maybe we need to get in that corner because I am assuming that we need to go to like specific spots on the map to fish, as opposed to just keep casting and we'll eventually get all of him. Because if that was the case, we could have probably just stuck up on top of that mountain. You know what? I picked my mouse up off the. There we go. I picked my mouse up off the desk instead of trying to click it while holding it down, and that seemed to help. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's like an ergonomic thing. Maybe that's just my body going bad and old age, or maybe just a weird Mario Party quirk of getting good at jamming the button in on a controller, as opposed to just jamming down on the mouse to clicky click really quickly. Clicky click really quickly. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe we gotta fish towards these obelisks, since just up until now it's kind of just been like gut reaction, like, oh, I feel like I should fish here, but maybe I should be looking in the distance. Maybe that's probably a more informed way to fish, because we did find a fish over near that obelisk. Man, your footing is great. I would have already fallen off this cliff, regardless of how minor this fish ends up being. Oh yeah, I should do that thing I was just doing. Cursed fish. Yeah, that's not a part of the guy that we want. Not an Exodia in the slightest. What if I line myself up better so like we get to like we're so it's like directly in front of us. Like I was pointing towards it, but maybe we need to get like right here. So like, I mean, it's hard to tell because it's off in the distance, and I'm a dumbass. How this is working, and maybe my observation of the obelisk things is off, because there's an obelisk over there. and I just ended up walking back the way I came. Now I think about it, like a fool, which is probably not the best way to traverse this island. Walking back and forth, or walking back and forth. You should probably like stay, like keep on keeping on. Like if I was gonna fish over here, I should have had the thought to fish earlier, because now we're getting close to where we fished before, which makes me think, what if we've already claimed? What if we've already claimed the fish from this obelisk? If it's like, oh, there's a piece of our boy per obelisk, and maybe had we fished on the other side of that little like rocky bit, maybe we would have found a cursed piece. And I suppose we're close to it now, so I might as well as just fish over there while we're here, as opposed to having to make our way back. I'm not sure. I could think about it like mathematically, like, oh, what's the best way to like chart this course? But we're not going to do that. I'm not going to sit down and think. I'm just going to walk over there. I'm going to try and fish and see if that works out any better. And then I'm going to head back over to that pillar closer to where we started, see if we can find another piece. Because what do we have? I think we only have 2 pieces, right? We only have the head and the leg. Damn. For some reason, I felt like we had gotten another piece. Maybe we got another piece while I wasn't paying. Oh, that's like that. I was gonna cut away, but that actually wasn't as long of a walk. That animation of like going into that crouch has pulled some heavy duty in this game for like, oh, you're slipping down a thing, and also that great like falling animation. Like that's a smart idea to come up with an animation that's multi-purpose like that. Like, yeah, could we like climbed up this? Did I just miss something? Is that even the... Oh, there's like other like obelisks in the background. So I might have been off with my obelisk theory in the first place. But let's go ahead and just... we'll cast out, and then I'll make my trek back there if this fish does not please me. We may have even fished here and I just forgot. Because like I said, memory of the cursed shadowfish. It's a shame that there's not a better fish that one could use as an example for a bad memory. But I can't remember one. And then we'll continue to the other side whenever this isn't a piece of our part of him. Okay, cool. Maybe my obelisk theory is correct. Which it probably isn't. I probably just got lucky. Okay, well, we got 3 pieces. I was about to say out of 5 because I'm still just stuck on the whole Exodia thing. But I'm guessing it's probably going to be closer to 6 or 7. Okay, so I've made it over to this pillar that we had started to approach before, and I'll just do a little spin around so y'all know where I am world-wise. Oh, I thought we'd be able to see the little lake pond where we were getting those majestic fish are over there. And we can see another island off in the distance. Perhaps like that's where we... Oh, I'm still not there. I keep thinking that we're there There we go. Now I can see down. Now I can see what's happening. I should probably get at the edge in that little corner. Maybe we'll be good in this area. And we should probably, after this, head back to where we started. You do only have 3 pieces, and I feel like there's going to be more than an Exodia's worth. Like, yeah, here we go. We got another piece of them. But we're like not getting torso-y bits. And the torso-y bit has a lot of your most important points to like lifting, that thing that you do. I can't. Oh, I like to say words wrong. Just do like some cutesy shit, which is just a bad habit I picked up. But that one was just an unfortunate. I couldn't decide if I was going to say important to life or living, and it just did not come out correctly at all. So yeah, we can see that island in the distance. Perhaps that's where we've come from, because we only had a little rowboat. It's unlikely we came far, and that little guy, I'd be a little difficult. I keep getting worried that we're gonna fall off the edge. Okay, our cast actually has to hit the water to be able to get the fish, because the fish, they live in the water. Oh. I started reeling in because I did that thing. We got a really good fishing rod. I'm not going to talk shit about like trying to figure out like the angle, like to make sure it doesn't like clip through the ground. Like that's like a polished thing that like you would do in like a quote unquote like full release game. Whereas like I said, this is a game jam game. Worrying about like that kind of shit would take forever. So I'm not going to talk shit about it. And that's that. Also interesting that the only thing I found thus far that looked interactable to me was the sacrifice area. I don't really know what to call it. Revival. It's some kind of slab, a vaguely humanoid-shaped slab. It's the only thing I've noticed that we could interact with. Perhaps we could interact with our boat. Very fine fish. Perhaps we could interact with the boat. I'm not sure if interacting with the boat would be like, oh, well, you're chickening out. You didn't revive him, Exodia. You lose the duel. You're sent to the Shadow Realm. We don't want to go to the Shadow Realm. We want to go to the opposite of Shadow Realm, the good one, the good realm. The fishing realm. That's where we want to go. Oh, we got a very majestic. Oh no, that's just a majestic fish. It's not very majestic, just normal levels of majesty from that fish, if you asked me. And I'm starting to feel like my theory about my immediate gut theory of the place where you fish being the most important thing, saying as more often than not we seem to get the cursed fish, so we probably have to go to specific locales to get pieces of him, of which still missing an arm, still missing a torso. I'm hoping the torso is just a single piece as opposed to like you got lower torso, you got upper torso. Oh, a hauntingly beautiful fish. You love to get the hauntingly beautiful. Hauntingly beautiful is the thing that you wish that more things that you acquired could be described that way. Because you love beauty, you love hauntings. What more is there to want, baby? I wonder if there's like any point to fishing in the starting area. Like I believe we pulled up very fine fish the first time we did it. So I'm not sure if like continuously fishing in the area will start to. Oh, part of him, cool. So we would be done if this was an Exod, but this is not an Exod. This is him. And he has different needs. I can only assume. So I'm gonna fish in the starting spot again. See if we fish one more again. If we'll get a good old piece. Oh, what is that in the distance? Because it looks like it's kind of like a red house. So perhaps we just live on that little island over there. And it looks like that island has like a cool little like. Oh, I don't know what you call it when there's like a natural like. Break in like the like cliff formation. So like rather than being a solid cliff, there's like a little hole in there for some like just for some fun stuff to happen, like erosion and such. And yeah, I don't know, because we've walked around the island, we've fished almost everywhere. There's probably some places I could have fished along the shore leading up into the tall mountain. I feel like so far, it's been if we fish in a specific location, we get a piece of him, as opposed to like, oh, I just need to, continuously fish. Like I'm just getting these cursed fish. So maybe the cursed fish represent you've claimed everything in the area that you could do. I'm not going to interact with the boat, just in case the boat isn't our friend. Like clearly, the boat is a good friend of ours. But if the boat's like and then you left the island unable to resurrect Exodia, like I was saying, like the Shadow Realm stuff, like we want to avoid that if possible. This one's putting up a fight. That's always a good sign when one's putting up a fight. Oh, I thought it'd be a good sign. Okay, well that didn't work out. What if we fished from the top? Let's see if we just get another cursed fish just to check my fishing thing. Oh, what if we we don't have like a menu or HUD of any sort. What if there was like secretly a like health bar, like catching more of these cursed fish is like screwing us over. Oh, and I'm running out of clicking strength. Yeah, another cursed fish. Okay, so we're done fishing in here. Like those cursed fish are getting harder to pull up. Like what if you pull up too many of them and it's like game over? That'd be a little scary. I didn't see anything about that in the on the itch.io page about like, hey, if you fish too much and you catch the bad fish, it's not going to be good. So yeah, before we do make the trek back up the mountain, since it will take a while, I kind of want to go fish back at that pond, because that pond is too conspicuous of a locale not to give us a piece of him. So perhaps I wasn't casting totally in the right area. Like I think there was like a rock in the middle. Like maybe if we fish like in the shadow of the rock, we can pull up a piece. Because like otherwise, I'm just going to need to fish as we make our way up this cliff. Because I don't know where else we could fish is the answer to that question. So, yeah, another cursed fish. Okay, so while we walk over to the cliff, because I don't know, I'm assuming the game ends once we get all the pieces of him. Like, we put it on the thing, and then I'm guessing for our hubris, for summoning Exodia, we get obliterated, as opposed to being thanked for our tireless fishing work. So I kind of wanted to comment on the horror aspect of this game. Like, thus far there hasn't been like a survival element, which I feel like survival element is a common way to induce fear, because if you're being hunted, it's gonna get to the lizard part of your brain of, oh god, I'm being hunted, I'm scared. So I'm not terribly a big fan of just like, haha, survive now. And I'm also not a big fan of combat in horror games. Just because I, despite what I just said about like survival, like if I'm being hunted, if whenever there's enemies, I don't really like being able to fight back, which is a shame, because all the like biggest horror games, like in my mind, the biggest horror game, like your Resident Evil, I didn't make the cast correctly, your Resident Evil, your Silent Hill, your Silent Hill is scarier than a Resident Evil, but like both games have so much like combat options that it's just like it's not that scary. If you can just whip out a shotgun at any time and blow something. Oh, there we go, we did get the torso. It was in the pool. Once you can fight back, it's just like, oh, there's an enemy, better kill it, as opposed to, oh no, there's an enemy. I remember enjoying Amnesia: The Dark Descent, of it being real scary with like not being able to fight back enemies, but I played that game when it was newish, and it's a long time. Like I said, cursed fish memory. So I appreciate that this world's horror. Well, thus far I don't think it's been scary or anything, and it hasn't really made any attempts to be scary. It's just kind of unsettling. Like we're a weird person doing some fishing. We're fishing up something we clearly shouldn't be messing with. Like I'm assuming that this is you've heard me talk about Exodia and such. This is more of a god situation, and not a friend of ours got dismembered and then we had to fish him up. It's hard to say. The ambient music did stop. The world sky changed color, so I'm guessing that there is dark magics at play. But yeah, it seems like more of a chill atmospheric horror, where I guess we were left to ponder the entire time what the hell we're doing, and we're about to find out with the white tree. I know the white tree means something in like Japanese mythology, or is it Japanese? It shows up in Dark Souls. So that's all I know. I know it means a thing and a thing. It means a thing in Dark Souls at the very least. So it probably means a thing here. I'm so glad I went back to that pond to just check it out, as opposed to just just fish along the coast. I mean, I did a whole lot of fishing along the coast. I'm imagining, a run of this game probably isn't supposed to take this long, but hey, we saw the sights, we fished. Fishing's gonna take a while. That's what fishing is, and I suppose now we'll get to see why we've been doing this. Part placed. That looks like a... Oh, I see. I was assuming this guy was huge. I was confused about the placement of the leg. Hey! Wakey, wakey. You're back! Okay, now that we can see them assembled, definitely not humanoid. Okay, well, that's it. What happened? Who knows? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, here we go. There's a Is that a body floating in the water? We work real hard to the thing up, and then it killed us. Is that what happened here? Yeah, that doesn't exactly look like our body, but it might be like our body wrapped in a sack. Okay, so there's a lot of questions to be asked. Oh, there's the figure. I can't move my mouse. The figure's just sitting on a cliff. I'm guessing it got up, killed us, threw us in the water. And I'm imagining that the screen's just going to go for a while. I saw on the itch.io page that this ending song was some kind of Christian song, like off of a VHS that they found on YouTube or something that they just chopped and screwed to make a song. So okay, we didn't get a lot of questions answered. So this is one of those horror games where you gotta make your own answers. And then it closed because we hit the end. So that one was more of a thinker than I imagined it to be. But I feel like we came across our answers. We fucked with the dark magics. We got Exodia up. Exodia obliterated us, and we went to the Shadow Realm in the water, which is, it's half Shadow Realm, half Fission Realm. So we almost got what we wanted, I guess. That was Brine Flow by Blood Machine. Itch.io page has other video games you can play as well.